Hello? Hi, everyone. So we're going to get started. My name is Daniel Lin. I'm the founder and CEO of FutureWord, and welcome. For the first-timers, give a quick introduction. FutureWord is a kind of an integrated co-working space that has both private offices, open co-working spaces, a maker space with some tools that you guys can play with, and this event space for demos and pitches and things like that. And so this is the third in a series of talks that we're hosting, and we're hosting a lot of other events too. So keep an eye out on our Facebook page. So again, I won't take up too much of your time. Enjoy. There's going to be pizza and more beer after this. So stay till the end. Bye bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for coming here tonight. So it's my honor to introduce our speaker for the night. She is a freelance creative educator and social entrepreneur, founder and head educator of Totes and Teas, which is both a socially driven creative thinking program for children and a brand. And now, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Miss Anne Liao.
Thank you, Steph. Well, hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm Anne Liao. I'm the founder of Totes and Teas design course. And I thought that I would just give kind of a quick introduction about myself. As you guys have maybe seen from the little blurb, that I've traveled a little bit around places. And actually, that's the backbone of Totes and Teas. I was raised in South Africa. I was born in Taiwan, and then I left when I was 9 months, and then I moved to South Africa. I lived there for 10 years, and then I moved to North Carolina in the United States, and then to Holland, and then to Taiwan for a year, and then to Melbourne, Australia. And then I ended up in South Korea for high school. I graduated there, and then university, I was in Australia and Germany. So that's a little summary of my life there, okay? Next. So how did this Totes and Teas begin? Basically, it was 3 years ago in 2013. I came back and I decided, I just finished design university and, what to do next. So I was doing a whole bunch of different kinds of jobs, and a friend of mine was like, I have this opportunity for you. You seem to really like children, and I don't like children as much, and it's about creative things, so maybe you should go give it a shot. So at the Experimental Elementary in Taipei, they were looking for a fashion design teacher. And when I went there wasn't any curriculum or anything like that. So I knew that, they kind of wanted just this sort of after-school activity where, kids could just go there and make their clothing or and then feel great about themselves. But I wanted something so much more for them because I came from a communication design background. I knew that, the thought behind design should be the drive. It shouldn't just be something that you finish drawing and then that's it, right? I wanted something deeper. And so I looked into, what could really help them in the long run of things. What could really, help them, inspire them to make, bigger changes or to give them life skills. So this is, what I want to give them, and I want to give them global thinking. So why Totes and Teas? Some people might think Totes and Teas is a bit boring, isn't it? Isn't there something more fancy? But that's actually the basis. Is Totes and Teas is about your basic values, your basic everything. Who owns a T-shirt here? Please raise your hand. T-shirts. Do you own a T-shirt? Raise your hand if you own a T-shirt. Wow. Okay, some people don't own T-shirts. I'm shocked. Okay, but, in general, everybody has kind of like a white shirt or something like that, very, very basic cotton shirt. And as with tote bags are given around freely, and some of them are very, it spans from really, really free price to really high. It depends on the design. So these two things are really great basis for creative exploration. It's like a very clean paper, but clothing. Now, one of the things I really thought about is that, since it's about fashion design, it's about education, shouldn't we think about what it means, what is fashion, right? What are the things revolving around fashion? And so, these are the things that are involved in fashion. As you can see, it's not the best things, right? We look at all the fancy things, but here are all the issues at stake. Okay, so the things that I really cared about when I was going through my design thinking about how to design this course, I knew that at the school I couldn't really provide, really high quality materials for what I wanted in terms of values because they were very, very low on budget. So after I finished teaching there, I took a year to really just brainstorm and think about all the values that I cared about and that should be encompassed in this curriculum. And the first one is ethics and wholesome agriculture, sustainable business model, cross-collaborations, which is about the future and what Future Ward is all about, and creating opportunities, harnessing mutual respect, social topics, being inclusive and not exclusive, and shared values, creative movement, and global citizenship. That's a whole lot of things in the system. Okay, values. So nurture from the ground up. And I want everybody to keep that in mind when we're going through this presentation. So this image isn't, the image that we want to see or associate ourselves with as a consumer-based society, but this is the truth. And this is actually the starting point of how Toast and Teas is going through the social entrepreneurship. A friend of mine, he works in marine conservation, and he was very nice to introduce me to a founder of Ecomax. Who knows Ecomax here? Please raise your hand. Nobody, right? Okay, so Ecomax is actually an apparel factory that manufactures things out of bottles. So they recycle plastic bottles from the ocean or like from trash and waste. And then it's actually a Taiwanese company. They've been working with so many big companies around the world, with Disney, with Coca-Cola, everything. But people don't really know about them. And that's why I wanted to start the conversation through Ecomax. So our tote bags uses 4 recycled PET bottles, and our t-shirts are 100% cotton. We wanted to use these values and this base to start educating our students and the people that were involved in the program on sustainable and ethical fashion to create kind of a conversation. So our slogan is empowering children through design education. Okay, so what we do is basically we have 2 different kinds of programs, and in these 2 programs, the first one they learn about branding and how do you get their ideas across, and how do you create a cohesive sort of style, your own style, and learn more about yourself and your values. And then the second part is where the entrepreneurship program kicks in. Okay, and this is a quote that I really care about, and it's basically the really famous quote, which is, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man 2 fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So that is what this course is all about. It's about giving these important knowledge to these children to develop themselves as individuals so they can be leaders in the world and in society. And the people that they sort of reach, they can also feel empowered through this brand and through their designs. Okay, so the things that we do, we go through like different kinds of workshops, we have courses, and we really share about innovative materials. Who knows Pinatex? Pineapple leather. Don't know. Okay, that's another thing that's actually one of the newest items now, and it's basically leather made from pineapples. Okay, and this is kind of like the gist of the program, what they go through. So if you look over here, okay, so if you look over here, right, you have all these different designs, but these ones, you see these ones in the middle? They're kind of more similar, aren't they? Like in terms of their face, there's not much sort of like different kind of expression or personality. And even though our young creative over here was really, really good at drawing, he was very interested in drawing, but because there was a lack of, there wasn't enough knowledge to broaden his ideas from, we taught him design thinking. And after just several hours, he came up with all these different ones around here, which is really amazing. And then that was his final design. And this is another one. Can someone guess how old this boy is? Just raise your hand. 4? Are you going very low because I said children? Yes, he's actually 7. Okay. And then for our course, we also wanted to provide a sort of a platform where the kids actually get to showcase their things and people get to come and see and really learn about their knowledge, which is what design is all about. And all our topics are related to social issues and topics. So every semester we base it on a social topic, and then we sort of branch off from that and then create something. But this was like the first one at the school. So yeah. So creativity is intelligence having fun, right? So our program is all about creative thinking, design, and giving back. These are the three key values. The kids. And this one is very interesting, these ones. What do you think that looks like? Brutes? Straight away, right? But then behind it, you see what? Animals. Okay, so that's already meeting what we wanted to teach in the class. So we basically split the children into two teams, and one was plants and the other one was animals. The one that was in plants could, have an animal face, but when you look at it, it has to be a plant-based thing. So they reach that target. Okay? So, in social entrepreneurship, obviously when I started out, I didn't think about social entrepreneurship. I just had these things that I wanted to do and wanted to achieve. And then through this journey, I started to meet partners and supporters along the way, and here are just a few of them. This is where we teach, at Number 6 Studio. Number 6, every partner that you see right now, if you research on them, they're very, very unique in a way that they align with our values almost 100%. They're all very unique in the way that they're very creative. So creative isn't just like, okay, so you're teaching art, right? They have very interesting strategies to teach in a way that's very unique to themselves. And even with food, these ones are actually restaurants, Plants, Green and Mianto, because for our lunch, we pair up with them for wholesome foods to educate them about, agriculture, because cotton, as you know, is a plant. And so, we really wanted to do a whole lifestyle education. So one of our sister programs is Wasabi Art Lab. Another one is Mr. Sun's Performing Arts. So we're always, first and foremost, education is at the heart of everything we do. Even in our brand, everything that you buy, everything that you see, there's a message behind it that is not just like, oh, that's a cute design by a little kid, or that's a cute design by someone. There's always some message behind it that, in everything, you can learn something. Basically, that's what we wanted to reach. And number 2 is the brand. And these are empowering society through cross-collaboration. So as you can see here, these are just a few of the photos that we've done this year. We started doing a lot of events in different places, from Maji Square to all the private ones in the restaurants and things like that. And everything has just come like a very unique experience. They learn about the whole ethical component, but also the lifestyle component, and as well the creative component. So everything is aligned. Okay, so we do the empowerment one tote and one tea at a time. Okay, and at the very beginning, I actually didn't mention this, was, my drive to create this brand this year was actually because of World Design Capital. And you guys all know about World Design Capital, right? So that was actually my drive. I was like, oh my God, design is really happening here in Taipei. I have to do something together, because I knew that it was the right moment and the right time that people could understand, and they could, because I think with social entrepreneurship, it's a very, very hard journey, and you're always fighting people, because people will tell you, this isn't going to work out, your values don't align with business. They don't, how do you make money? How do you do something that is like meaningful, but you can still survive? And I guess like for me, I don't want to prove them wrong, but I want to prove myself right, that I believe that values should drive your business. It should be completely connected. And that, I guess, is how it all started. Okay? So, please follow us. We have a shop coming soon, and I just want to show you some of the future projects that are coming and future collaborations. So these are, our future product line, the first one that's going to be out. And I know that, some people, you don't like art or you don't like creativity, but you believe in it so much. Like a lot of our parents, they send their kids specifically to our course because they're like, I don't have creativity. I want my kids to have creativity. I know that this is important for the future. And so, we want people, when they buy something like this, they know that it's not just a shirt. It's like the whole value that's inside that matters. Okay, so in 2007, you can be looking forward to a really cool curriculum that's actually going into schools. This is one of the things that we're working on right now. It's basically animal welfare and design and creative education. So we're taking animal welfare, something that's teaching children about empathy and really important environmental topics, into a very cool light. So it's at the end they get to design something that is of the topic that SPCA has come up with, and we're combining that together with creative education. And then at the end you're getting a really great shirt that has a really unique design of an animal. Because as you know, when we're shopping, we see all these animal and cute things and we're just buying it, but there's no actual story behind it. So we want to bring the conversation into another level. And this one is another thing. Do you guys know A Good? They're actually quite famous right now. And they work with Down syndrome children. And this is called the Backpack Project that's coming in 2007, where we're going to work, because we are in the lifestyle fashion sector. We're able to provide, about raw materials and things like that, because we work from the ground up. So with A Good, what they do right now is that they sit with children with Down syndrome, and they have a different topic every workshop, and then the kids sort of just draw and go with their imagination. But because they're not allowed, they can't really do design, so they take their artworks and then they redo it into lifestyle products to give them value and to show people what design is all about and how it should be used in our daily life. And so the Backpack Project is basically, we want to show what Down syndrome is. And Down syndrome is not something to feel ashamed about or to feel sorry about. Down syndrome is such a, the children that we met, they're so confident and they're so authentic and they're so honest with themselves and so transparent. So we want to show what it is, it's basically confidence. And when you buy a backpack that is also, from recycled plastic, that is really, really high quality, it also has that message, which is about confidence. It brings some more confidence, true authenticity into your life. And this one is another one, which is innocence. So we're working with Wasabi Art Lab. They work with children. These are all done by 2 to 3 year olds, which is very, very unique. And then we can take their works and make it into a backpack as well. So when you're buying, you can have innocence back into your life. Okay, so the summary of this whole entire journey up till this point is basically social entrepreneurship is business with a goal for positive social change, and values coming together to form new opportunities for all parties. You have to know your values before anything can start happening. So first values, second business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne, for that enlightening and interesting talk about creative industries and social entrepreneurship. I'd like to follow up with if anyone has any questions for Anne. Have a little Q&A session. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, okay, well that's gonna take quite a while. I faced so many challenges because, they just weren't kind of the way traditional businesses were run. I met a lot of people in the business who were like, this isn't gonna work, where are you gonna get the money, how are you gonna get the support? And I just want to say, when I'm running Toast and Teas, I haven't taken a cent from none from parents, none from businesses or sponsors. I took nothing. So basically, because I've always been an educator for 5 years now, and so I would save up and then to support something like this, which is my vision. And so far it has been really great. And on this journey, this slow but fun journey, sometimes very difficult journey, I met people like-minded, and that's why I kept emphasizing, I guess, on values. Because if it wasn't for those strong values at the beginning, which were, the things that made it very hard at the beginning, but it was also the one that opened gateways and doors to me. I had friends that supported. I had, and Ecomax, the founder, was actually one of the biggest supports. Because when I reached out to him to talk to him about, what I was doing, he was like, do you want to work together? Do you want me to help you? And I was thinking at the beginning obviously you want help, right? But like I didn't want to be someone that was leeching because that wasn't my purpose. But I think because he saw like what I wanted, and also for something like in Taiwan, because it was such a rare thing, even international, this is very rare. He felt like, you know what, we had the same values. I started this thing 30 years ago, people always against me, but now it's time, and then we can help each other. So that was really great for me. And as well as all the platforms, for example, just now when you saw Myth is actually a fashion platform, a fashion app. They went through the same things as I did, In Taiwan, we're meeting such important cultural issues right now where, people want to connect, but they don't know how to connect. People want to, work together, but they're scared to work together because they're scared that their ideas are going to be stolen from somebody else. But the truth is that, when you are creative and you have a vision, you can't just have your vision stolen. It just doesn't work like that. So that's what I'm kind of, I'm really open book about who I work with and everything like that. Because people can, sure, go find Ecomax. And that's something that I want. I want people and apparel, designers and companies to go to Ecomax and learn a thing or two from them. Because it's that kind of connection, and that kind of human connection that helps you build things bigger and better, right? We're stronger together kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah. Any other questions?
Logos. Oh, okay. I'm interested in the logos. So any meaning of the logo?
Oh, you mean the collaborated logos? Sure. Here.
No, I mean your logo.
Oh, my logo. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the very front. Okay, where was the logo? Sorry, guys. I am.
Very nice animation on the website.
Thank you.
But you always the most. You have to try it.
Okay. Which one? Oh, sorry. It's my first time using this controller, so I mean, I'm a designer. I should know this, right? But okay, let's go. This one, okay, bigger. So, what do you guys see? Maybe this is more interesting. What do you see in this logo? Face of an animal. What animal? A bear, okay. Who else thinks it's a bear? Who thinks it's a key? Who thinks it's like a tech board thing? Connections, I mean. These are a few things that actually have come up. But everything I'm okay with, because it's like the key to ideas, right? Or like a face, a friendly face. But actually this whole logo is about a journey of startup. And I want to show this to you, what I mean. Okay, you see this? Imagine yourself at point A, okay? And, with any big idea that you have, you know that's an idea, but you need to get there, right? And so you're like, how do I get there? So that's this journey, right? A to B, how do I get there? And so you go through a series of questions for yourself, and you ask yourself all these questions, and you're very confused, and it makes you stressed out, and you're like, I don't know if I can do something like this, right? And that's why there's 2 lines here, because it's stress. But the truth is, you have to go through that point to go to the next level. You have to go through stress. You have to go through that kind of mind-numbing feeling. Okay, so that's the next bit. And that's why this is a circle. It's about communication. With anything, any startup, you have to communicate with others. You have to ask others for opinion. You have to ask them, what do you think, and then get feedback from them. And then in your head, it doesn't matter if you listen or not, right? But it's good to have different opinions. And then you can start sort of narrowing it down and filtering what is the essence of everything. And that's why this line comes through. So once you're done with all that communication and asking people and being like, okay, no more opinions, you go through this journey of understanding something much clearer, and you go through this one journey. And then towards the end, when you're kind of there, you have a little bit of a confident smile because you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So that's the whole process of the logo. Thank you. Yes? Yes? Monetization distribution model. Can you be more specific?
How do you sell your shirts?
Damn, okay. It's like, let's avoid that question. Okay, Basically, that's why we started the brand earlier than expected, okay? I'm just gonna be honest about this. So when I was designing totes and tees, I knew that, you know, it's not, like obviously I wanted to be education-based, right? But if you don't have income, how are you supposed to run everything? And especially me being stubborn as I am, I didn't want to be like taking so much sponsorship thing, like money from other people, because I want to be told what to do, right? This is something like you build. So for me, I realized that, you know, as a brand, you really reach out to a different audience and different market. So for right now, you know, we're working with, for example, like Myth. So once our students' things come through, they actually get to sell their things on Myth. And then actually the most of the percentage is to themselves and to the actual production line. And then, yeah, and a bit comes to us. So it's like a system. But it depends on which project as well, because there's different projects. But most of the money comes in is actually from education. So like the price that people are paying me, I just go and work towards this project to keep it running. So everything is from education, and then it branches out. So product second, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were saying that you didn't take money from anybody in the
Yes.
beginning, and
Yes.
so people pay to attend your seminars.
Definitely, yes, they do.
Okay.
Because we do workshops, right?
Yeah.
Like as I was saying. In our workshops, it's never just a plain workshop of just design. There's always food involved. So like, I mean, it's lifestyle, right? You can't have a lifestyle without food, you know? And also our food is really, it's all wholesome food, plant-based food, organic, and like, so they get like the whole entire experience. So they're paying for that entire experience, and then they get to take away, you know, the actual product that they designed. So that's how basically we maintained it. Yeah. But then we can have the brand on the shop, so, you know, maybe I'll get help from you guys. You never know, you never know. Okay.
What does success look like for you? And is the current model of workshop the end goal, or is there a
Bigger goal.
bigger goal or plan that you're working towards?
Ooh,
And what do
that's-
you need? And what do you need to get there?
Okay, so this is a big question because of course, you know, like if a vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough, right? And that's what I'm all about. So when I was thinking about toast and teas, I've thought about the whole global setting of things, okay? So in our entrepreneurship program, what's really unique about it is that we bring in really top you know, either your designers, you can be from different occupations, but your leadership types. And then we bring them and introduce them to the children, and they get to ask questions without any like form of like threat or anything like that, you know, to them. Because they're so young and everything, and they can ask whatever they want, and they're like, oh, you know, yeah, sure, I'll share with you, okay? So, you know, obviously what we want in the bigger scheme of things is to get kind of a connection. That's why, like, you know, this sort of harness this kind of connection with other people, and as well as in a global setting. So in the future, what I'm going to be doing is that after I've had this course stabilized in Taiwan, I want to go to different places because as a creative, I need to move. Clearly, right? Like I need to travel, I need to learn about different cultures. And also every place offers different techniques to fashion, offers different issues, social issues. And this whole thing is run on that. It's run on, you know, opening up people's minds to things, right? So on the platform, it becomes like a really safe place for, you know, our students and maybe their students to interconnect. So that's like the bigger scheme of things, is to get this sort of global stage for creativity, exchange of ideas, and like a respect to creativity in a very basic sense. Yeah, hope that answers your question. Is there anything else that I forgot? We have a platform right now. So like our website, Toast and Teas, we're actually in the mix right now to make it into that kind of stage. So we do like, you know, obviously, you know, through our blogs, you'll learn about why we partner up with certain people. Because we want people coming into our workshops or people to, you know, who browse our website to learn a thing or two about ethical fashion and where, you know, fabrics come from and why we're working with a company. Because they're all so unique within themselves. They have such a creative model. So this place is actually basically just educate ourselves and open our minds to like new ways of doing things. So in that way, you know, as a platform, like we have that down, but we also cross-collaborate. So there are platforms that, you know, align with our values. They share and we share about them. So that's how it all works. Yep.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Just a quick question about, I guess, material is something that's very pertinent to your business. What was the argument that you had pros and cons in regards to organic cotton over hemp? Just
No, I didn't have. Oh, right now you mean? No, no, I fully support hemp. Like I'm not like organic cotton. The reason why we're using. Did you hear me say something about me disagreeing with hemp? Oh, okay. Well, basically, it's just we're looking at consumers, right? So right now, most of our things that we buy has to have cotton, right? That's something that we associate with in terms of like a white shirt. And also the texture of cotton is softer than hemp. Okay, so that's actually just, kind of just we need to still stay in the market and show people that, by switching to organic cotton is already better. But then we also show other things as well, like, for example, pineapple leather or like hemp or all these different things. We want to show people that there are all these different materials. Yeah. Yes?
They're sourced from Taiwan or?
No, pineapple leather, we haven't used pineapple leather yet in our collection. This is actually just something that we bring into our workshops to show people about the leather alternatives. Yeah, so this one is not from Taiwan. It's actually from, is it the Philippines? I think it's somewhere there, yeah. But we just want to like bring in lots of new things for people to touch and to see and to bring that conversation.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I would like to know like how different is like your project right now that at the really beginning, like the first time you got the vision about this project, like how different would you say like it has been transformed during the process of creating it?
Wow, so much transformation. I think the biggest thing is about my own transformation. Like, how stubborn I was at the very beginning. Like, I think, I don't know about you guys as creatives, but, when you have a vision, you want to go for it. You kind of don't want second opinions. You like, I'm going to do this way first, and then other things can wait, right? And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned about myself. It's kind of like my character development, is that I realized that, you don't have to be a control freak. You can let go. You can, still have your own voice, but in a very nice way, like you can really go about things in a way that whatever comes first, you tackle that first. And then you see, how do you join this to this? And then you connect. And then you connect another thing. And then that creates endless possibilities. But if you're just so stuck in your ways, you will suffer for quite a while until you break open that kind of lock and then release that. And people will feel that as well, because when they're talking to you, you're giving them a lot of attention because you're like, no, this is what I want and this is my things, and then, but they obviously agree with your values, but it's just like, oh, can we do it some other way, or, and I'll give you an example. At the very beginning, my course, I didn't want to give anything like a workshop, or I just wanted people to feel the whole experience, because I felt like, design and creativity isn't something that you can just learn in one lesson, right? You can open up that key, but it's not long lasting. It's like you forget about it, and I wanted something that was like, that's why, when people come and look at the course, they're like 13 weeks, like that's a long time. But if you think about it, you sign up to art classes for 13 weeks or even a year sometimes, every weekend, but it's because it's something so foreign. Like, what is design? Can I get a taste of it first? Can I go to a few lessons? And I was like, at the very beginning, I was like, no, you can't. Like, what do you want me to provide right now, right? I'm giving you the whole thing and you want like a bit of a snippet. But then if you don't see the full outcome, you're like, well, this is no good for my buck, right? And I'm like, no, it is, believe me. And they're like, no, I don't believe you. It's like, yeah. So then I opened up to workshops. And I wanted people to come and kind of just get a little taste of the experience, and kind of that nervousness when you finish designing and you print it right on the spot, like how nervous that feels, but how good it feels. And I think from that it opened like different doors to me. Like people would be like, hey, we have opportunities in Malaysia. Like, would you like to come and do it? And I was like, oh, sure, of course, right? It's all about global connections, isn't it? So like, then I'm like, okay. And then we exchange emails or exchange business cards. And these people are all people that believe in what you're doing. So you're actually opening so many opportunities from that. Yeah. Don't be so stubborn. Don't be so prideful. That's what I think. But keep your values. I think that's very important.
Okay, so on that note, yeah, the road to entrepreneurship is very hard and arduous, but it's good to have a lot of people to collaborate with and to discuss things with. So on that note, let's enjoy the pizza and beer and talk to each other and see what we can learn. So thank you for coming to this talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, Anne, for giving us this very interesting talk. So, all right. Enjoy.